was with some deputies on a thing in Cutler, and they were getting calls, and I couldn't understand a thing. They were talking on them while I couldn't catch it.
This is another situation we need to get fixed.
Oh, yeah, I know the street. The 911 center is very important. Most important
There's
service.
a guy some head of mine that's sitting back, we can do something with it.
I say we need to consider, so we're important. I don't care if it's important, I don't care if they can.
We can put them in the ward and sell it.
Put it where?
Put them in the ward and don't sell it. Mike's shaking his head. Sorry, I was just.
I guess we could put it in the museum.
You got voting.
Or, yes,
Just to recommend, if you're gonna move the investigation down there, gentlemen, I wouldn't move 911 into there.
no, that can't happen at the same time.
No. If you're looking to move a 911 to a county facility, if we see how this building that we're looking at in Flora, still if it pans out, there is enough room to move a 911 center to this facility that we're looking at. I just wanna see if it's still viable with the property owner before I come back to you guys and say, yeah, he's still looking at selling.
What property is we talking about?
It's an old man Chevrolet building. There on there.
Is there something going on in there? They were building some,
Oh, it's no longer active in there, but they're in the middle of some legal issues that they're finishing up. That's why I've never really came,
We're talking about Joe Pioneer places too. didn't we?
that's off the,
Off the table, I think. We're always a dollar short today, like.
man, Chevrolet, I like that idea. I just thought it was full.
It is, it kinda is now, right?
there's stuff there, but
There was a fire store for a while, then they moved to the other place.
We're going to process hemp there.
they're just going in there's some legal issues that they're going through right now. They're trying to get some stuff worked out and may be on the market and may not. That's what I'm waiting on to hear.
Is it still owned by Mans?
Yes. They were just leasing it to them, this other company.
I could, the guy that was doing the hemp part in there, I saw him yesterday, all I did was say hi, I heard him, and walked on by, I could have talked to him, I didn't even think about it. Maybe he wouldn't wanna talk about it.
That's why I've actually been kinda quiet about everything.
Yeah, understand completely. Well, that would be big enough to house 911 and several things, wouldn't it?
It would be able to house the investigation, myself, the coroner, 911, just
How about emergency management, would be big enough for that too?
yeah, my office, the coroner, along with the morgue, 911, and the investigation. The only problem we would have, I think the larger parking lot where the OK signs are not part of the deal, because there's still some issues that gotta be worked
You
out.
can get the parking lot across the street.
The smaller one across the street, because he owns both of the lots that are there, but the bigger one, somebody else, I think, has first dibs on it, so if they don't want it, then that could be part of it. There's still a lot of working pieces in this whole thing. So, the two big trailers, the health department's trailer and the mobile operations center, we might have to find a different spot for, but all the other trailers I'd be able to maneuver around in there for right now.
You can almost park them in there somewhere.
There's, when that new company, that lease it, there's a lab that's built in
So you can't drive
the
through.
base. So there's, part of the bays, the service bays are still open, but, If it moves further, gentlemen, we'll take you over there and walk you through and show you what the plans are. Should it ever come to fruition, I just did a quick walkthrough and got ideas in my head and then dropped them to the side because we don't know what's going on there.
I've been in there, maybe not every corner of that building, but I've been in there a lot of times.
But it's a lot of space there.
Yes.
That's right there. Would there be something wrong with having two control centers there? Because of the internet and stuff, would that be an issue? You had your backup down the street?
I think, I don't know what the new jail design is, but if, you'd probably wanna have your backup, if you were gonna have a functioning backup, you probably want it in a different location.
That's what I wanted.
So, you know, maybe
Something down there would be good.
if you did that in Florida, you would,
Well, if we ever get the new jail built,
If-
that could be the backup.
right,
That could stay as a backup.
or there's 900 different directions you could go.
Yeah, but I appreciate you looking at all these things.
We've been talking.
Okay,
He's mentioned a lot of stuff.
good. Yes, sir.
I know it's not a quick fix, it's something that would pertain to what the sheriff and Mike have been talking about for immediate use, but has anybody ever reached out to Indiana Packers for the old RMC building to see what their
Yes.
long-term plan would
Yes.
be? Cause every office
Word
in
I
the
got
courthouse
from it
is,
is they do not want to let go.
they don't wanna let go.
That would be an ideal building for us for, we should have gotten that building when it was available. Right across the street, it's got the bays underneath it, it's got, we didn't do it, but the impression I got was no. I don't want to let it go. Maybe we better let this set for a little bit here. Is there any other business? Yes.
Yes, back to the agreement with IU Health Arnett regarding drugs for Carroll County EMS. You should have a document that, yes, the only thing that may have changed is I asked them to change who signs it and all that to the commissioners, so, but the substance of it is the same that I reviewed. Because they rely on these and their contract is expiring, I would like the board, if they will, to approve the agreement for services with IU Health Arnett and authorize the chairman to sign the document when they get us a clean copy, because what they did, they sent us one that has, so it's, but the substance of it is identical. So if you would,
The exhibit A's.
and the exhibit A too, right, we don't have the med list either, goes with this, so that's something that Doug can supply or get from them. That way they won't be held up on getting their medicines, because it saves the county money, a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay, so Steve,
Need a motion,
you made a motion to, accept this contract.
and to authorize you to sign, clean copy on it,
With the originals here.
yes.
You'll second it? Okay, so then I will call for the vote. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Thank you. That's all I've got.
Anything else to come before the board?
Do we need to make-
Yes, sir.
It's that time of the month again. Somewhat caught the conversation, but if you could clarify where we're at on looking for the bids on the general contractor for the jail. The other part is what's happening with the easement right away for the utilities. I know that was being worked on at one point, and I've never heard anything. I don't know anything's.
We have to get an update of the appraisal for the utility easement. It's stale. So legally, we have to get a refresh, of the number. Somebody has to, the appraiser has to go back out and look at it and get new numbers. I talked to the owner's attorney, and he said, that you've gotta get it, and he's right, you have to update it. So, as far as the first question, the RFP for construction management services is on hold until the council approves a funding amount that we can tell, those people how much the estimated project is, so.
Basically, we're starting over, Jack.
Well, and I keep going back and thinking, year and a half, 2 years ago, when a figure of what, $84,000 a month, wasn't it? On increased costs for every month, things were delayed,
120.
so, you know, it's,
If I could say, they're waiting for the funding amount without the soft cost. The council wanted Matt Eckerly, that's what we're waiting on from Matt Eckerly to give them that report, correct?
Correct.
Did we get you?
yeah, it's just, you know me, every month and a half or so, I'm going to bring it up if I don't hear anything,
Well, that's fine.
so.
Unfortunately, we had to just stop and start all over again after quite a pause. Anything else to come before the commissioners?
Sing her walking, I think she had, did you get that ordinance to him for the fee increases?
I have not yet, I've got it ready to go, I just haven't.
Okay, so we'll put that on next meeting. What are we gonna do about the ad living? We're gonna allow them to go into the.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that back up again, because what happens if they're still in there when it comes to election time?
Probably have to use the,
They'll have to move out,
they'll have to move out.
That's why I actually came in.
okay?
Cause I wanted to make sure that the museum was going to be available for the elections, there's no other place I could hold it within this building, there's nothing big enough.
Well, we'll have to find another location. I hate to say it.
They'll have to be there,
They'll have to
they
find
can
it.
use it temporarily until election time, so it has to be cleared for.
But then that won't work, because then you're just jeopardizing evidence again for moving it more time.
Well, the election has to be held in this building somewhere.
No.
No,
Well, it doesn't, but then I have to go to that location every single day, tear down all the equipment, bring everything back every single day. So if that's gonna be the case, then I'm gonna need more staff in order to do that, because it's not feasible for me to be able to do that. We set it up now, and we leave it up for the duration of early voting.
how many do you have coming in for early voting? I know it varies.
Last year, obviously, it was very large. Typically, we have
50 to 100?
a day. And it's available for 4 weeks prior to the election.
So what about the interpreter center down there looking at?
That would, I would have to have a way to haul the machines. If voting starts at 8 o'clock, I would have to be up, loading the machines out the door by 6:15, 6:30 every morning. And then I'd have to wait until after 5 when they're done, go back, reload them all up, bring them all back down, put them all in the basement. It would,
Is there, we're concerned about tampering with evidence on the
Right.
living thing, is there concern about tampering with the votes on this shift back and forth?
I can't leave the equipment anywhere other than this building,
Downstairs?
overnight.
That'd be too many people downstairs. You don't think the new break room is big enough to do voting?
Oh, no. I can maybe get,
3 machines?
if, it depends on what the protocol is. If we're still 6 feet apart, I can get 2 because I have to have a check-in station. And
The new break room where
we've
it's
been
very
using
public.
6 machines for early voting. This time around, we used 8.
Well, you just throw a monkey wrench and everything, Jerry.
Sorry.
Question. For the Libyan Abbey, do they need all of the museum, or could some type of a divider where they would enter from one door and the voting could come in from the other door and
About that.
the two couldn't meet or mix?
They can't be in the building with the equipment unsecured unless they're with an election official.
Well,
That's
but,
state.
We're talking about building a complete wall.
Oh, if you're building a complete wall that separates the two,
yeah, that's what I was,
Split in half, probably.
They can have the north end and the election can have the south. That's the only option.
It's a big room.
yeah. I mean, I can reconfigure how we're,
Sheriff, can you have the detectives look at that and see how much of that they would need and get back to one of us as soon as possible, because we need to get something started.
Sure.
if I have a choice, I would prefer the north end, just because we have all the equipment coming from the basement up, and this is where the handicap ramp is, so I don't have to go all the way around the building. That would,
Well, now you're just getting picky.
well,
But for handicap accessibility, it's flat in the south. There's a
that's
step in
right.
the south.
that's right.
But once you set it up, you're not gonna have to move it again.
Yeah, I can't get in that door anyway. Never mind, I went the south end. I can't get in that door anyway. He brought it, that's right, I forgot about that step.
Okay.
So we're planning on putting Abby and Libby in the north end of the museum and using the south side of it for anything else that might arise. We probably need to get started on that pretty quick, I'd say. Cause I don't know how long it'll take for them to get it designed and built.
Well, they can't, it's not a deal, they can move in and we put the wall up. The wall has to be up. You can't have somebody working in there with their evidence.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to do the wall and all their stuff. She just needs open space.
Does the wall need to go all the way to the ceiling? Either one of you?
No. As long as, you know,
That'd probably do the
I think if it's a
investigating
10
room as
foot or
box.
something, I don't think anyone can crawl over it,
You
so.
probably put an 8-foot wall and maybe a chain link fence. That's.
That'd be pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need it to go all the way to the
What about we
ceiling.
put a 12-foot wall across it? I don't know how tall that ceiling is, but you can play basketball.
I bet it's 15 feet. Well, we got a plan. At least we moved forward on it today a little bit.
The investigative side would be, it would have a ceiling. To be separate,
Yeah.
you'd have to have a ceiling.
Oh, you're getting it bigger and bigger.
Well, no, you'd have to have a ceiling that you would separate.
Yeah.
Office, office, even.
So in other words, you're gonna have to go through,
Not necessarily.
you're gonna build a ceiling.
They can go up 10 feet and just build a big box in there.
It'd have to be all insulated because of sound.
Looks for it.
And there will have to be more outlets added, because I can only plug in 2 machines per pole now. And that's 8 machines. And if
What
you cut
extension
half the
cords thrown
room,
over the top of the wall.
yeah, if you cut half the room, then I'm gonna have some, so I can reconfigure how the room is set up. Sorry.
Well, it's only a sheriff election, so just don't.
Yeah, there's others.
Yeah, we got another.
Okay,
Well, have them look into it, please. Then while they're there, they can add electrical. Cause they're gonna have to have electrical anyway for all their machines and computers.
I would have Sharon look at it too and decide what all she needs and.
So you meet with Detective Mullen, I think that's who's one been doing a lot of it, or just Kevin? Yeah. Cause he lives like around the corner from you.
okay, is there anything else to come before the board of commissioners? Maybe we've beat these dogs enough. Motion, second to adjourn, all in favor, say aye. Thank you all for putting up with us.
I could on election day since we're closed, but yeah, unless you're actually voting, you can't do wandering around, you can't